Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum. In this video, we will learn the steps in performing hypothesis testing. HT here is referred to hypothesis testing. The first thing that you have to know is about the population parameter used, whether you are using average, mu, or proportion, P. So it depends on the question. Later on, we'll look at the example. We have only 5 quick steps to perform hypothesis testing. The first one will be state the null and alternative hypothesis, or we identify the claim from the question. So we have only 2 types of hypothesis. The first one is null hypothesis, or denoted as H0, and also alternative hypothesis, denoted as H1. Okay, the first hypothesis, which is null, is always a statement of equality. Equality here means whether you have the symbol of equal sign, more or equal sign, or less or equal sign. So whenever you have these 3 types of symbol, this one will be at your null hypothesis. The second one, alternative hypothesis, it is a statement of inequality and it must be contradict to H0, your null hypothesis. So whenever you have equal symbol for the null, the alternative will be not equal symbol. Whenever you have more or equal than symbol for the null, the alternative will be less than symbol. And the last one, when you have less or equal than symbol for the null, the alternative will be opposite to that symbol, which is more than symbol. So if you have these 3 types of symbol, this one will be at your alternative hypothesis, because all the symbol doesn't have the equality statement. Okay, let's look at the example for the first step. A university claimed that their students drink on average 2.1 liter of mineral water per day. So mention here average 2.1 liter. So the parameter used is average mu equal to 2.1 liter. So you have the equality statement there, so that one will be at your null hypothesis. So mu will be equal to 2.1. So this is your claim made from the question. So your alternative hypothesis will be mu is not equal to 2.1. The opposite symbol is not equal to. Okay, so that is our first step, stating the null and also the alternative. Second question, a local bank claims that the average time a customer waits online is less than 5 minutes. So mention here average time and less than 5. So the parameter involved is mu less than 5. So do you have any equality statement here? No, right? So this one will be at your alternative hypothesis. So H1 mu is less than 5. So this is the claim. So your null hypothesis will be mu is, what is the opposite symbol? More or equal than 5. Or you also can write as mu equal to 5 only. Both are accepted. Okay, second type is determine critical value and rejection region. So whether you are using 1 or 2 tail test, it depends on the alternative hypothesis. So when you have the symbol of not equal value, then you have 2 tail test. When you have more than symbol, you will have right tail test. And the last one, when you have less than symbol, you will have left tail test. Okay, let's look at one by one. The first one, 2 tail test, meaning that you have 2 rejection region, one to your left side and one to your right side. The red area is your rejection region, and the area in between, the yellow color, is our non-rejection region. And then what is critical value? Critical value is the cut-off value between rejection region and non-rejection region. So you have 2 critical value for 2 tail tests. And then when you have the right tail test, your rejection region will be at your right side. And then you have only 1 critical value for the right tail test, still at your right side. And the last one, when you have the left tail test, your rejection region will be at your left side. So you have one cut-off point also. The critical value will be at your left side. So you have the negative critical value. Okay, why you have to know about rejection region and non-rejection region? Because later on you will calculate the test statistic value, and then you will compare that value fall in which region, rejection region or non-rejection region, and then you will decide something based on the question. How to find the critical value? Later on we will discuss whether you are using the z-test or the t-test. Okay, the third step is determine standardized test statistic value. So you have the formula here. Let's say you are using the z-test. The formula is sample value minus hypothesized value over standard error. Here you have three types of test statistic value. The first one will be sigma known. Sigma known will be covered in the first subtopic, which is 7.1. Okay, what is sigma? Sigma is population standard deviation. So in this case, you have the value of population standard deviation. So when you have this case, you are using the z-test. X bar is your sample value, meaning that the sample average, minus mu. Mu is your population average over standard error. So what is the formula of the standard error for sigma known? This has been discussed in chapter 6. Standard error for sigma known is sigma over square root of n. So you have to memorize this formula for the first type. Okay, second type is sigma unknown. This will be covered in 7.2. Sigma unknown means you doesn't have the population standard deviation value. So in this case, you are using t-test instead of z. So the formula is x bar minus mu over standard error for sigma unknown. You are using s. S is referring to sample standard deviation. So standard error will be s over square root of n. The last one, proportion. Proportion is in our last subtopic, 7.3. So whenever you have the proportion hypothesis testing, you will use the z-test. So the formula is p hat. P hat is sample value, meaning that the sample proportion, minus p, your population proportion, over standard error of proportion is square root of pq over n. So you have to memorize these three formula. Later on, after you calculate this value, you will compare in the region just now, whether this value fall in the rejection region or non-rejection region. Okay, the next step is you make a decision whether you are rejecting or fail to reject null hypothesis. So always remember that your decision mentioning about null hypothesis only. So whether you are rejecting null or fail to reject null. So you have 2 points here. When your test statistic value fall in rejection region, meaning that your value in step 3 just now, if the value fall in the rejection region, your decision is reject null hypothesis. When you have the test statistic value did not fall in rejection region, your decision will be fail to reject null hypothesis. And the last step is interpret decision or make a conclusion. So this one is based on our question. Let's say your question asking about the claim. So your conclusion will be, do you have enough evidence to prove the claim or to reject the claim? Or do you have enough evidence to say that the claim is true or the claim is false? So it depends on the question. So that's all our 5 quick steps for performing hypothesis testing. Hopefully you will understand.